Have you ever asked yourself, why isn't anyone noticing my work? You are putting the effort, you are creating great lettering pieces, illustrations, designs, but opportunities aren't coming your way. So in this episode, I'm going to break down the 3 biggest reasons talented artists and designers stay invisible and what you can start doing today to change that. Welcome to Open Studio Podcast, space for lettering artists, illustrators, and creatives who are determined to thrive in their passion. I'm Martina Flor, and I've been through the ups and downs of building a successful creative business. From struggling to make ends meet to achieving my dream of becoming an award-winning lettering designer, I've learned valuable lessons along the way. Now, I'm here to share those lessons, strategies, and tips so that your journey can be smoother. Whether you're looking to turn your passion into a career or want insights to boost your creative business, this podcast is your guide. Join me on the Open Studio Podcast and let's make your creative dreams a reality. Hey there, and welcome back to Open Studio. I'm your host, Martina Flor. I'm a lettering artist, author, and educator, and I help creatives build a career doing what they love. If you have been tuning into this podcast and wondering why your work, why your artwork isn't getting traction, then this episode is for you. Today, I will show you how to stop waiting to be discovered and start showing up in ways that make people take notice. And you will learn 3 simple but powerful shifts that can help you get visible, get noticed, and get hired. Now, let's dive right into the reason number 1 why your work is not getting noticed. And probably that is because you're not sharing your work consistently. So if no one knows that you and your work exist, no one will hire you. You don't need a perfect body of work to share your progress. Now, posting consistently keeps you top of mind and helps you build your confidence. So keeps you and your work top of mind of your clients and helps you build your confidence in your work, in your capability to have creative output. I want you to start thinking of social media as a sketchbook that others get to pick into. So that means that you don't need to overthink your content. You just share what you're working on. A lot of artists and designers think that they need to specifically be creating content for social media. So the content that they create first, it becomes an extra job, an extra work that they have to do because they have to constantly and consciously create content for social media. And second, there is a disconnect between the work that they are doing and the content they share on social media. So I want you to give you a tactical advice here. I want you to create a posting habit. And this doesn't necessarily mean that you post or you take a picture of everything that you're doing and you post it right away, because that's going to consume a lot of your time. That is what I used to do in the past, and I was spending as much time at creating the work as I was spending in social media. So I want you to create a posting habit by setting for yourself a little bit of a schedule of how many times a week you will be sharing your work. Now, 1 post a week is better than none. And I want you to keep a folder of your work so that you're never starting from scratch, so that you never feel that every time you need to post or it's time for you to post, that you have to go ahead and create that post specifically for social media. I want you to already have a documentation of your process, of your work. People love seeing how things are made. And I want you to keep track of what you're creating by taking pictures, by making process videos and saving them in a folder. And when it's time for you to post that week, then you go ahead and you have a selection of work that you can use to post on social media. So that you will be doing here is not creating a specific content for social media, but documenting the things that you're doing and saving that up for later so that when it's time to post in your schedule, in the times that you agreed that you will schedule each week, then you have a lot of material that you can dive into and select from to do just that. Now let's dive into reason number 2 why your work is not getting noticed. Your portfolio isn't clear. And here's a question. Does your portfolio show the type of work you want to be hired for? Or is it a mix of old student projects and random experiments just to fill in the gaps? A great portfolio is curated. And I want you to keep this concept in mind for when you start working on your portfolio. Less is more. You need to go for quality over quantity. And you want potential clients to land on your site and immediately understand what kind of artist and designer you are. I always say that your website is your strongest way to send a message to the world. And that message is gonna come back to you in terms of work, in terms of projects. So the message that you send to the world, the selection of projects that you include in that portfolio are part of that message. And those that are receiving that message understand, okay, this person wants to do this type of project. So this person is really great at solving this specific problem. So last week, I hosted a private Q&A inside my program, the Lettering Seminar, with Lauren Holm. She is a lettering artist, which I also interviewed in this podcast. I interviewed her on episode number 56. So she was one of the first ones to come on this podcast. And Lauren, during that Q&A, she said something that really stuck with me, which was like, you need to tell the world what you want. And I thought that was such a strong concept because that also translates into you need to tell the world what is the kind of work you want to be doing? What is the kind of work you want to get more from? And your website is exactly that. It's you telling the world, hey, I want this. I want to do this type of work. Now, I want to give you a tactical advice here as well. You don't need to have 20 pieces of work in order to have a portfolio. You can have from 4 to 6 strong pieces of work, properly showcased, properly displayed with mock-ups if needed, so that you can give a little bit of context to that project so that someone that visits your website understands immediately what is the project about. You can also write a sentence for each project explaining what the project is, what your role was, what the concept was, what the briefing was. So if you want to do packaging, you want to show packaging, you want to show your designs in the context of a packaging design. So if you have created a design or a lettering piece for a packaging, then show that in a mockup, show that in a packaging mockup. So if you want to do editorial or publishing, if you want to work on book covers, then show your work, show your designs onto book covers, because that will show a potential clients, that will show an editor that visits your website, that will immediately connect with them. That will be like, oh, okay, that's my kind of person, because there's book covers here. They are in a book context. So this is what I'm looking for. So remember, you don't need 20, 30 projects. And also you don't need specifically client projects that you have done for real clients. You can also use your personal work and dress that up as a real project and showcase that in a way that really calls the attention of the people you want to work with. And now comes reason number 3 why your work is not getting noticed. You are waiting to be discovered. And this is a big one. This is a big one that I see out there. And I want to tell you something. No one is coming to save you. Waiting to be discovered is just a fantasy. And if you ever heard of someone saying that they were discovered by an art director or an agent or whatever, that is the exception to the rule. You need to be proactive. That means that you need to do outreach emails, you need to do outreach calls, follow-ups, and you need to make yourself visible. Every artist and designer that you admire has reached out to people. They didn't just get found. And as I said before, if you heard of someone that had the luck to be found just like that, it's just the exception to the rule. That happens once in a million, and you don't want to trust to be that one in a million, because that will rarely happen. So you want to be proactive. And this is a big one among creatives and artists and designers, because that belief keeps us just doing the work or focusing on doing the creative work, which is exactly what we love doing. But doing the creative work is just not enough. Besides doing beautiful work and investing time into getting better at what you do, you need to also be proactive, do outreach, share your work, let them know that you are there. So I want to give you a tactical advice here as well. I want you to make a list of 10 people or studios you admire, that you think that you will be great at working with. And I want you to reach out. I want you to first show them that you understand the kind of work that they are doing. I want you to also share your portfolio. So a link to your portfolio website, perhaps also could be a PDF with a selection of your work that is relevant to them. And I want you to take that first step of contacting them first. And you can do this in a myriad of ways. You can do that per email. You can do that through sending something via snail mail, so something physical. This is something that I often do. I have done it throughout my 14 years of working as a lettering artist. Much of the promotional material that I have created throughout the years, actually that is promotional material that I sent out to companies and to brands that I wanted to work with. And I was just dedicating that piece of work to them. And then of course I was following up via email saying, hey, I sent you this postcard. I'm a lettering artist. I do this work and I would love to collaborate with you. So again, here, don't wait to be discovered. Initiate the conversation. And as a bonus tip, I want you to start thinking of your success as your capability to build real relationships. That means that the more you build a network of people that trust you, that know you, the more you will succeed as a lettering artist, as an illustrator, as a creative. The more you're able to start conversations, to comment on others' work, to join communities, to connect with people, the more your work will be seen and the more you will get hired to work with other people. Because the truth is that people will hire you not only because you do excellent work, but also because you are great to work with. So remember that real visibility comes from real connection. You need to start creating these connections so that your work gets noticed and you as a person, as a creative, as an individual that is a great partner to work with gets also noticed. Remember that people work with people they know and they trust, and creating those connections, those relationships is the best way to have people knowing you and trusting you. And of course, your work is the cherry on the top because they will know that you are the right person to do the job. So when I started, I had the same exact fantasy. I thought, hey, if I do the work, people will notice me. And I thought that if I posted a nice enough lettering piece, someone would knock on my door and offer me a dream job. And it took me a while to realize that I had to reach out and introduce myself and do more than just doing the work and posting that on social media. So I had to really be proactive at showing my work and also at educating people about what I do. I always say that as an expert, you will always at some level will be educating your clients and your audience. You will be creating awareness around why your work is important. And for me, that shift made all the difference. That's when I started getting real inquiries, when I started, going to places, making connections, proposing myself as a speaker at creative mornings, at other conferences. This is where real projects, real inquiries were becoming tangible. And when I started to build a career that I love and where I get to do the work that I'm really good at. So before we wrap up this episode, I want you to think about what is going to be your next move. And for this, I want to invite you to pick one of these 3 reasons and take action on it today. So the reason number 1 is that you're not sharing your work consistently. The reason number 2 is that your portfolio isn't clear. It's not sending a clear message to the world, that through your portfolio, you're not telling the world what you want. And reason number 3 is that you're waiting to be discovered. You're doing the work, you're focusing on creating more and more work, which is great, but it's not enough. You need to reach out, you need to create connections, and therefore, the more connections you create, the more success you will experience. So I want you to go ahead and pick one of these 3 reasons and take action on it today. So that means that You will either post your work, you will update your portfolio to send a clear message to the world, you will reach out to someone you admire or you want to work with, you will start that conversation. So pick one of these. And of course, if you want to do all of the three, then great, more for you, more success for you. And of course, if you love this episode, go ahead and share it with a friend who needs to hear this. It might be just what they need to move forward to. So thank you so much for listening to this episode, and see you on the next episode of Open Studio. Bye-bye. So this is it. I hope you loved this episode. You can find me, the host of the show, on social networks at Martina Flor on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you have a question or comments, go to martinaflor.com/podcast, where you can see previous episodes, find show notes, and send voice memos with your comments and questions. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube. Just go to martinaflor.com/YouTube to find them. You can, of course, listen to all our episodes on your favorite podcast platform. If you loved this episode, subscribe to this podcast. And if you leave us a review, it will help others find us. Thank you all for listening, and see you in the next episode of Martina Flor's Open Studio. Bye-bye.